buffer pool. Matter of fact, it was my ex-wife that came up with that mnemonic back in 1993 or 94, and I understand a lot of the instructors at Oracle Corporation are now using that mnemonic. If she only knew that it's still living on today. All right, so we can have those four major types of blocks in our database buffer pool, and I have to point out a couple of parameters here in the SB file. One parameter that pertains to this database buffer pool is called db underscore cache underscore size. And you'll learn later how to set that, and that determines the size of the database buffer cache. Another very important parameter is db underscore block underscore size. And for us, in these two classes, Admin Workshop 1, Admin 2, Workshop 2, each one of these blocks is going to be 8K. And it's very nice if your Oracle block size is a multiple of your operating system block size. You want your Oracle block size to be a multiple of your operating system block size, if at all possible. Okay, that's the database buffer pool. And by the way, there is an algorithm that gets applied to the database buffer pool, and it's called the LRU algorithm, and that stands for least recently used algorithm. There's a list. Since most of us read and write English, we go from left to right, unless you speak Arabic, read Arabic and speak it. Hebrew, I think they all go right to left. But anyway, this is the most recently used in. So as the block gets touched, the block goes up here, and over time, the block starts drifting over here to the right. And then if we have to make room for new blocks, this process right here will write these blocks to disk. But that algorithm is least recently used. So as it gets touched, the blocks get touched, they're popular, they go over here to the left to the most recently used in, and Oracle's going to keep the popular blocks in memory. Why do you think that's a good idea? Okay, quicker access. It's faster to read a block that's in memory than it is to go out on disk and bring it into memory. All right, the second piece that's going to be in Oracle 7 databases, Oracle 8, 8i, 9i, 10g, and 11g, is a segment of memory that was introduced in Oracle 7. And it's called the shared pool. And the purpose of the shared pool is to reduce parsing. All right? And there's two major pieces of the shared pool. One piece is called the library cache. Inside of the library cache, you'll have the actual text of the SQL statement or the PL SQL statement. So I'm just going to put SQL statement up here and abbreviate it. Then you're also going to have the compiled version of the SQL statement or the PL SQL statement. That's referred to as meta code, M-E-T-A-C-O-D-E. I wouldn't know what it was if I saw it walking down the street. And then the third thing that you have in the library cache is the execution plan of how the Oracle Optimizer is going to retrieve the rows, and that if it's a query in a select statement or an update or whatever you're doing. So I'm just going to put the plan. And there is a a couple of $V that look at this area in memory, and throughout the course I'm going to write queries for you when I do demos so you can actually see the statements sitting in the shared pool of the SGA. And one of them is $V SQL area, and then another one is $V SQL. It's like using a video camera and zooming into the SGA, and you can actually see what's sitting there. By the way, one other thing, you can also flush the shared pool. You can also flush the database buffer pool. You'll see the commands to do that later on. The second piece of the shared pool is the dictionary cache. The dictionary cache contains the names of objects that have been touched recently. So some people are writing queries against the employees table. The employees is going to be there. It's a table, the column names, and then your privileges and roles, all your access information, that's stored in the dictionary cache. And by the way, the least recently used algorithm not only gets applied to the database buffer pool, but it also gets applied to the shared pool. And there's a parameter in your SP file that controls the size of the shared pool, and it's shared underscore pool underscore size. All right, another piece of memory, and again, I can't put all these in here. There's probably, I don't know, 6 to 10 more segments of the SGA that we'll add to this picture later on in these two courses. But another pool that you're liable to have is a Java pool. Excuse me, and there's a parameter called Java pool size. And most databases do have these, 9i and 10g, and your Java objects get stored there. There's another pool that is optional, but a lot of customers have it, which is the large pool. And if you're using the RMAN utility to back up, restore, and recover your Oracle database, you'll want to configure a large pool. Also, if you're using the Oracle shared server, which is